US people, how badly are you struggling with costs? Rent's the worst for me. Gas too, yeah, but I'm paying upwards of $1,500 for a 1B1BA apartment. 86 miles a day in commute in NY, who apparently forgot that gas prices have started to decline elsewhere. Things aren't awesome. Damn near everything has increased in cost by a third near me, while the wages have stayed the same. Working more hours to help a little, but eventually it'll catch up with us if we don't move. It is what is though. What am I going to do to change it? Working at Chick-fil-A has helped, I'll tell ya that. What are your opinions on Britain and British people? I like British humor. Parts of Britain look very nice and scenic. Had the best sex of my life with a Brit who was vacationing here, so there's also that. We're all Bolens. They're cool. Y'all seem like cool folk. Greeting from across the pond. Well, at least our schools aren't like Call of Duty. They drive on the wrong side of the road. I can't grasp the concept of a monarchy and why the obsession with all things royal. Brit Chan is a bit of a tsundere and can't tell other countries that they likes them too. Birch. What did you hate until you tried it? Kimchi, I don't want to try it at all. But, when I tasted it, it is good. Worcestershire sauce. I always smelled it in my sister's food and was put off. Now it's like crack to me. Sobriety. I was in my 40s when I tried a Reuben sandwich and realized that things that I don't care for individually can be great together. Eggs cooked with runny yolks. Always thought it was a disgusting salmonella pool until I tried it. Now I don't eat my eggs with a hard-cooked yolk at all. Sushi. Sushi, I used to somehow dislike it, then I tried it, and it's like a new world opened for me. Hummus. It's really good for blended-up chickpeas. What do you regard as overpriced? Living. College education, rent, US healthcare. Ink cartridges for printers. They cost fucking cents to make but sell them for $60. New phones. Gas. Water, it should be free, accessible to everyone because it's a basic necessity. Just my opinion. Things that cost more than they should. Everything in the world. Cost of living UK. Avocados. Computers and smartphones. Politicians. Everything. I paid $14 for one McDonald's cheeseburger on DoorDash the other day, not even a meal, just the burger. Insulin, if you're American. Pretty much everything nowadays. Lego easily. What do men suffer through that women never know about? My husband is remarkably good at not appearing depressed. I know the signs at this point because of how long we've been together, sometimes before he's even aware he is, but his close friends are generally not able to tell unless one of us mentions it. I think women have the advantage that we're more open with our emotions, while men maybe aren't always aware of them as much and also don't feel like they can show them. It's fucking lonely. Lack of emotional support from friends. We aren't allowed to be sad, and no one gives a shit about our feelings. Nobody cares. And nobody really cares that nobody cares. Single dads being looked at weirdly when they take their kids to the park or someplace public. What is the creepiest thing you found in a forest? 3 piles of stones outside my tent. An abandoned long-term campsite with a dog skeleton still chained to a tree. Poor thing probably starved to death. A 200-pound snapping turtle covered in moss and weeds growing on its shell. An abandoned church with boarded-up windows in the middle of nowhere. It just felt very wrong and creepy. My dad found the remains of Confederate soldiers and the metal objects they carried. Once, a metal detecting buddy of his got his arm caught on a rusty vintage bayonet, and my dad said that the blood spray was like that scene with the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Thinking fast, he wrapped his buddy's arm in a tourniquet and drove him to the hospital. The man survived and made a full recovery. What's the best thing your therapist ever said to you? That there was no need to put me on any kind of medication. That my feelings are completely understandable for someone who's going through what I am, and that they'll likely resolve once I'm out of my situation. I don't think you need me anymore. Therapy isn't linear, and just because you can't see me anymore doesn't mean you will lose all of your progress you've made with me. You did it. I only supported. You are strong, and I'm so proud of how far you've come. She made me cry during our last session when she told me she was proud of me. That's domestic violence. You were exposed to domestic violence as a child. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it really put things into perspective for me. Cartoon Network turns 30 this year. What has been your favorite Cartoon Network show so far? Samurai Jack, or maybe Adventure Time? Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo. I was in my 30s and loved those shows. Over the garden wall, so much good shit on Cartoon Network though, it's crazy. Could probably do a top 20 because I love so much of it, but OTGW takes the cake. Total Drama. Gumball. Hands down the best. Teen Titans, hands down. You are allowed to bring 10 items with you on a deserted island. What are those items? 10 lamps with genies in them. 10 boats. Scarlett Johansson, a doctor who performs vasectomies, and 8 big jars of lube. My phone, a pack of glizzies, and some Gatorade. Maybe some sunscreen. 10 laborers whom I've hired to work for me and protect me and keep me alive. You need to impress a king from the medieval period. What food from the future would you bring him? Pop Rocks might freak them out. Pizza. Pop-Tarts for breakfast, Hot Pockets for lunch, and a calzone for dinner. Every possible way to stuff an entire meal inside of bread. Dippin' Dots. According to their slogan, they're the ice cream of our future, so it'd be extra impressive. Unedible. An Oreo McFlurry. Lasagna. No one can fuck with alleged lasagna. Chicky Nuggies and Hot Pockets. I'm sure a fat king would enjoy the Neckbird special. Mac and cheese. A deep-fried Snickers bar. Choco Taco. If they were impressive for hundreds of years, maybe then we would still have them today. If you decided to run for office, what is the worst slogan you can think of that would make sure you didn't get voted in? Keep the status quo, fix nothing, actually shit. That might get me elected. I will fuck up your livelihoods and you won't be able to do anything about it. So taxes are low. I'm gonna like the guy that killed Hitler. I am a politician. Germany awaken. I'll nuke everything. We will succeed where Hitler failed. A vote for me is a guarantee of $10 a gallon gas, or I'll take away all your guns. Grab him by the pussy, oh wait. If you just got $1 million, what would you do? Probably would invest it into property. In my country would be very profitable to buy farmland. Pay the deposit on a 1-bed apartment in London. Be able to buy a couple days worth of food at least. Disappear. Buy a cottage and new bicycle. Folio The Lord of the Rings, a new laptop, and PS5. Invest it in a way where it grows a little and I can cover my basic needs without stress. I just want to make art, but the grind keeps me too tired for creativity. Buy and wear a new pair of socks every day. Not much. You'd be surprised how little $1 million will get you. In your opinion, what is the best TV show? Mr. Bean 19901995. Mr. Robot. Community. Supernatural. Big Bang Theory. Honestly, early Simpsons was kind of unmatched. None of that later bullshit though. SpongeBob. Vox Machina. The King of Queens. Twitch. Sharp Objects. Breaking Bad. Arrested Development. Breaking Bad. Grey's Anatomy. Barney Miller. Firefly. Star Trek The Next Generation. Yes, I know it'll upset some DS9 and Babylon 5 fans, but I genuinely think it is. A slow build from the first couple of series whilst it found its feet, and then they realized they could do something new. And the finale is spectacular. Breaking Bad. People of Reddit with street smarts, what is your best street tip? Just act like you belong there. Nothing else will get you in more trouble than looking like a tourist in somebody else's hood neighborhood. If a situation doesn't feel right, it ain't right. Leave. You'll know. It's like a wave that overcomes you. Just leave. Cross the street. Turn the car around. Walk out the door you came in. Something's about to happen. Not everyone who is nice to you has your best interest at heart. If you ever get kidnapped and thrown in the trunk, look for the latch on the left or right side to open the trunk from inside. If you come to a stop sign or a red light while driving down a shady neighborhood and someone approaches your car and motions you to roll your window down, for the love of God, don't. People of the world, what is the first thing you think of when you hear Belgium? Waffles. Chocolate. Their tyrannical king who murdered millions of folks in the Belgian Congo, now DRC. Hercule Poirot. That Hitchhiker's Guide bit about it being one of the most offensive words in the galaxy to everyone not on Earth. Bruges. Beautiful place. Spent the best days of my honeymoon there. Chocolate. Chocolate. Brussels, the EU. Notgonnasaydutronux do true. Beer. Beer, beer, beer. Chocolate or waffles. KDB. Best beer. Brussels sprouts. Pedophile rings. Frites. Yay. Cyclocross. Mayonnaise on fries. Atomium. Tintin. Students, what is the most unfair suspension or expulsion you've ever seen in all your years of schooling? All the time someone fought back after being assaulted. Zero tolerance for fighting, no excuses. Such a stupid rule. Not as bad as a suspension, but I once failed the writing proficiency exam required for graduation with a perfect score. She said I wrote the bare minimum to fulfill the requirements of the rubric. Back in my day, every high schooler on a particular bus was suspended for 2 weeks because someone set off a firecracker, and no one would take the blame.